Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer true. I'm half crazy over the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage. I can't afford a carriage. Just you and me. I was gonna sing the Backyardigans version. I'm so sorry. I ruined it. I blew it. That's the best part. I fucked up tremendously on the timing of that amazing digital circus Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared comparison. Would I take it back? No. I do love comparing themes, and I stand by what I said. The premise of hope and hopelessness is present in both, but the approach these shows take could not be any more different. The rest of this video will be dedicated to TADC, but just for the sake of putting this video to rest, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared's intrigue comes from the tiniest of hints. The very rare moments where parts of the trap are revealed. But the amazing digital circus at this point is showing their whole hand. The characters are laying it all out on the table. And this last episode, the guns one, is my favorite by far. Let's start with the lowest stakes reveal. Zooble wants to have sex.
I want the ability to have sex.
I would have laughed so hard at this scene if I wasn't watching it with my brother and sister. I was like, what did they say? Zooble is matching Gangle's freak, but with a twist. Jax always mocks Gangle. He holds what she does with her figurines over her head as some kind of fucked up blackmail.
Do it, or I'll tell Ragatha about the figurine thing.
I guess it's not as embarrassing as that time Gangle took an anime figure and...
That's fine.
Meanwhile, Zooble says what they want outright with no sense of shame. I love that for them. Them confirming they have no way to get freaky reminded me of the scenes in the Black Mirror Star Trek parody where they have no genitals and are smooth like Barbie dolls down there. Anyway, here's my impression of this Yuri. Gangle doesn't like when you do that, so you better leave her alone. Oh, Gangle, you saw all of that? Yeah, I don't like when he messes with you like that. But, I didn't see you standing there. I just heard him saying some not so cool things.
What were we talking about?
In episode 1, Kane said that the only thing he doesn't have control over are the humans' minds. And if him making Jax a vegan in the last episode didn't already confirm that that was a lie, this episode takes it up a notch when we see Kane grab Jax's head and project images into his brain very quickly. The way this guy is moping and getting cranky, and he doesn't even care enough to be normal for like half a second in this episode. This entire episode, he has given up. After Jax shoots Ragatha, he physically, his body literally drops. Because let's think about it. They haven't been on a Kane adventure since episode 3. I shouldn't say that. They did go on one adventure that we didn't see. And maybe there were more in between. But for us, it feels like it's been 3 not Kane adventures in a row. Probably feels even longer for this guy. He's feeling overlooked. Aww. I love Kane. I was the one voting for him. The first time I watched episode 6, I didn't even see the after credits scene until TikTok brought it to my attention, and it takes this to the next level. I already had a prediction about what I think will happen when he fully loses it, so here's that. I think that Abel, that's been hinted at, is going to be more of a Jekyll and Hyde situation where it's 2 sides of the same coin. Like, Kane isn't able to abstract, but there is an evil Kane, aka Abel, and if that happens, then that'd be very similar to Leslie's breakdown and Malice. Okay, now here's what I love about the inclusion of the awards ceremony. It makes it feel like we're semi-responsible for what's to come. Listen, I did my civic duty and voted for him. You guys are the ones who doomed the circus, not me. I kid. I know he would freak out regardless, but I love the inclusion of Bubble holding a camera because it does bring our attention back to the fact that he does know we're watching. He made that very clear in the first episode, but it's easy to forget. I see people suspecting that Kane is human because of the picture he was holding up. I highly doubt that. I feel like he was probably flipping through everyone's memories and saw that that is like the only place they have in common, or all the memories of a human were put into this AI. Once again, very Black Mirror. But who knows? I could be wrong. I am very susceptible to propaganda. I am so pissed at myself for assuming the worst of Pomni when I saw this episode's trailer. I really did make an ass out of you and Ming. Pomni was delightful. She reached out to Ragatha first. Ragatha wanted to be with Kinger to protect Kinger from Jax, when really, inadvertently, all she did is keep the only character who may be able to help Jax away from him. I know that's a bit of a stretch. Like, Pomni did everything right in this scenario. I'm just saying, if you look at the stats, before the end of this episode, 2 out of 3 of the almost abstractions were prevented by Kinger. And the only reason he didn't help out Gangle in episode 4 is because he was absolutely nerfed and left out. And Pomni was only able to help Gangle with what she learned from Kinger in the previous episode. Anyway, back to this episode. Kinger's speech to Ragatha almost made me cry. When he asked her if she hated herself and then, admitted that he hated himself, tears were so close to streaming down my face. Also, the developer theory seems really plausible. King chess piece, first one at the circus, and he can control the world. I never had an audible reaction to the Amazing Digital Circus since the first episode until that happened. I literally was like, what? Oh, I just made it up. Damn, dude. Kane used to be my favorite character, but now I think it's Kinger. I saw that people think that they all have control over the circus because Pomni was able to shoot the gun perfectly and cartoonishly just by imagining it, and then Jax got his tail back. But I don't think that's comparable at all, because they changed their avatar's appearance and movement, whereas Kinger changed the world and someone else's health in the game. That is literally Kane's job. People also suspect Kinger might be Abel from Cain and Abel, which I could definitely see, especially with the way the actual story of Cain and Abel played out. Wow, I should have read that before throwing my own theory into the ring. I tend to jump the gun, as I already said, especially with predicting that Ragatha would abstract. I thought she was a goner by episode 4, but then by episode 5 I changed my mind, and I'm still changing my mind back and forth. What gave me hope more so than even the speech Kinger gave her was that quick moment where these 3 were being little goofs and putting on cat whiskers. That comforted me so much. And by the end, when Pomni and Ragatha were finally seeing eye to eye, I was removing sweat from my head. I feel like I could take a breath of relief, but I also feel like I'm probably being lulled into a false sense of security. From the very start, when Jax was really leaning into different character types, I was surprised at how he was both more self-aware than I thought and less self-aware than I thought. Because I knew he was pushing everyone away on purpose, and to a certain extent, he knows that too, but he's really trying to convince himself, yeah, this is just the way this is, and I don't care at all. And his eyes turn really tiny, and you can see his anxiousness. I really like that we heard that he labels himself the funny one. It also puts him and Gangle's relationship into a new perspective, because he always takes her comedy mask. He's like, oh, you don't need that. That's me. This is our bit that we do. You're supposed to be fucking sad, and I'm supposed to be comedy. Making the world worse with comedy. I do think there's definitely validity to people saying he let his guard down around Pomni because there's something about her that reminds him of Ribbit. I told my brother about this theory, and he is not the type of person to analyze characters' intentions, whether it's really subconscious or not. He was like, that's stupid. He definitely wasn't thinking about that. I'm like, subconscious. I was looking through Gooseworks posts, and Ribbit was right before Kaufmo. So in that scene where Jax is looking at both Kaufmo and Ribbit, those are the only 2 people that Jax has mourned, probably. Jax harbors a lot of guilt about his friend abstracting, clearly, and he only becomes more aware of that guilt when somebody like Ragatha says, oh, you're trying to corrupt Pomni. And I'm not saying that was right of Ragatha, because at that point, Pomni and Jax's friendship was doing fine, but it is funny that he thinks that, him being friends with people is what's corrupting them, as opposed to, being the absolute worst. Because Pomni obviously at the end then reprimands Jax. Like, have you ever considered that this is what causes people to abstract? And then he gets extra defensive because he's like, this is the fucking second time I've heard this today. Fuck you guys. I'm not responsible for if you guys give up when I tell you to kill yourselves. You are my playthings. Ew. Okay. Calm down, edgelord. Come on. Stream Jax Toy by Jake Neutron, my mutual. Let's go. Boo! Yeah, I'm like about to go to sleep, but I don't know how I forgot this. Bunny rabbit. I don't know how I forgot to say this, but it's like obvious that Jax doesn't want to feel hurt again. Like, grieving really fucked him up. So he's like, okay, if I don't care about anyone, then I won't ever have to grieve again because I won't care. That was pretty obvious. I don't know how I didn't talk about that, but it's just funny that he's like, okay, death is inevitable. So what I'm gonna do is ignore it. One-way ticket to frickin' Abstraction Town. I hate to throw out another guess, but it's seeming like it now. They just keep throwing curveballs, man. I don't know what's happening. Everyone thinks that Jax's irredeemable moment was him saying that he wouldn't care if Pomni died and he would forget about her. I think the dude's gonna get worse. I hated Jax before this episode, and now I, like, kinda care about him. I think this episode, mistakes and all, humanized him way more than any other episode we've ever seen him in. I think that if I had to predict what would be the irredeemable thing he did, I think he's gonna show up to a funeral and, like, laugh at people for being sad. Instead of just leaving and, like, suppressing it, I think he's gonna show up and they're gonna be like, Jax, like, why are you starting to pretend to care now? And he's gonna be like, I just want to see the look on your faces. I don't know. I think he's gonna do something way worse. Because Gooseworks said in that Tumblr post, it's gonna split the Jax fan base in half. This episode was a peek into his coping skills. Even Pomni at the end, like, she was hurt, rightfully so, I would be too. But she looked back. I think his irredeemable moment is when everyone in the circus gives up on him, including Pomni. I feel like everything Pomni's doing, at some point maybe Ragatha has done too. But I don't think Ragatha learned about the trypophobia thing. I don't think she was just asking the right question because she was too busy being in her head like, yep, they all hopefully don't hate me. I think Pomni is the only one at this point that doesn't hate herself. Yeah, Pomni seems to be the most well-adjusted one. We'll see. That could probably age badly. I'm just thinking about all the different ways this show could go at this point. Kinger guilts himself, not only over his wife's death, but also probably making the game in the first place. He probably feels guilt about every death, but he only really has those moments of clarity when he can think clearly. So it's good that it's mostly light most of the time. Ribbit's death was right before Kaufmo. I wonder if we're ever going to hear why only Pomni and Kaufmo saw the exit door. I don't know. There's like so many things that are left unsaid. Like, we've never really explored the grounds. I thought we'd see it since this was the only other in-house adventure since the first one. There's that one mannequin that was just watching at the end of episode 5 that we didn't see at all in episode 6, unless he was really in the background. I'd have to watch frame by frame. No one gives a shit about Gummiku anymore. I feel like I respond better to more dialogue heavy episodes because at this point in the show, I mean, there's only going to be 9 episodes of The Amazing Digital Circus. We are 2/3 of the way through. I want to get so invested in each character. I want it to be devastating. And from what I've been seeing the voice actors post, I know it's going to be. I'm probably going to cry like a little baby bitch. There are some fan theories that don't make any sense to me. Like, people are like, oh, what if every time somebody abstracts, a new member of the circus joins in? That doesn't make any sense because their reaction to Pomni being there while Kaufmo was abstracted was like, wow, rough first day. Like, they would say something if it was a pattern, like, oh my gosh, new character's here. Where's Kaufmo? He's probably dead. They didn't think about that until they saw him. Except for Kinger, he really knows the signs well when somebody's abstracting. That's why at the end, when Jax was in the bathroom losing it, when that bathroom door opened, I think they intended for this to be a fake out. I thought that was going to be Kinger, and he was going to have another moment where he's like, listen up, son, I'm the best character, and I'm going to talk you off the ledge. But instead it was Disappearing Guy. It was perfect. I feel like I have so much more to say, but I want to make sure I'm not saying the same thing 8 different ways. I don't even have one theory anymore. My brain just keeps making different fan canons. I am so glad that I'm watching this as the episodes are coming out because I'm trying to tell people to catch up. It's only 6 episodes. You could watch this in under 3 hours. Why aren't you guys getting into it? And then I thought about it and I'm like, yeah, I would definitely still enjoy the show if I was able to like binge it in a go like that. But I love just letting it simmer. Going from them spinning around and singing to him saying, like, he wouldn't care if she died. You guys are friends, you jackass. Fuck. And those harmonies were so good. Maybe the indefensible thing is that Jax is going to tell off Kinger. Holy shit, could you imagine? Can you imagine if he tries to commit elder abuse? Then we'd have to perform a late abortion on the lad, on the bunny dude. I can't even focus on which theory to bring up. They're all gonna be wrong. Anyway, bye, before I keep rambling. If I think of anything else, I'll just put it in a short.